Caleb's world shattered when his father's fist grazed his jaw, his furious words, "You're no son of mine," chasing him into a stormy Oregon night. Fleeing a forbidden kiss with his best friend, Caleb, a 22-year-old dropout, lands in a desolate motel haunted by betrayal. Enter Marcus, a rugged stranger whose steady gaze and rough hands offer shelter and spark a dangerous pull. Their nights blur with fleeting touches, whispered confessions, and a firelit moment where their breaths nearly collide. But secrets don't stay buried. A menacing figure from Caleb's past emerges, wielding a photo that could ruin them both. As rain pounds and threats close in, Marcus fights to protect Caleb, but a heart-wrenching rejection tears them apart. Now, at a misty bus stop, Caleb clutches Marcus' lighter, torn between running and facing the truth. Will he board the bus, leaving love behind, or risk everything for a man who sees his soul? One choice could end it or ignite a fire that burns forever. Watch to find out, can love survive the storm? The door's slam hit harder than the storm outside, its echo chasing me as I stumbled into the rain-soaked night. I was Caleb, 22, a college dropout with a backpack full of secrets and a truth ID buried too long. My heart pounded like a drum as I gripped the keys to my rusty hatchback, the engine coughing to life. Dad's voice still burned in my ear sharp, venomous, "You're no son of mine." His fist had crashed against the dining table, shattering a wine glass as his eyes locked on to mine, seeing what I'd hidden for years. I wasn't the son head raised to be strong, to be right. I was something else, something he couldn't accept. My boots splashed through puddles, the cold seeping into my bones as I sped down a desolate Oregon highway, wipers slapping uselessly against the downpour. My phone buzzed in my jacket, probably Laura, my stepmom, trying to mend what I'd broken. She had always been the gentle one, slipping me cash for art supplies or asking about my sketches, but even she couldn't fix this. Not after Dad caught me with Ethan, my high school friend, in the shed behind our Portland home, our lips brushing under a flickering bulb. Ethan had looked at me like I was enough, until Dad's shadow loomed, his face twisting with disgust. The road blurred, my eyes stinging not just from the rain. My chest felt carved open raw. I should have denied it, I thought, fingers tight on the wheel. Should have called it a mistake, but the truth had choked me, and when Dad lunged, Ethan fled, leaving me to face the storm alone. "Get out," Dad had growled, his voice a blade. I grabbed my bag, my sketchbook, and bolted. Now the highway stretched into darkness, the rain a wall I couldn't break through. My hands shook when a neon sign flickered ahead. Starlight Motel, 3 miles. Cash was low, but I needed shelter, a place to stop the chaos in my head. The motel's lot was gravel, crunching under my tires as I parked. I sat there, engine ticking, breath fogging the glass. What now? I thought, throat tight. I was out, truly out. No home, no family, just Dad's words and Ethan's fading footsteps. I hauled my bag to the office, the bell above the door jangling like a warning. The clerk, a woman with tired eyes and graying hair, muttered, $40, sliding a key across the counter. I handed over crumpled bills, my fingers cold, clammy, room 9. The hallway reeked of damp carpet, but I didn't care. I locked the door, dropped my bag, and sank onto the creaky bed, the springs groaning. My chest heaved, the air heavy with regret and stale sheets. Dad's face haunted Murd, furious, veins bulging. "You're no son of mine." The words cut deeper than the glass ID dodged, sharper than the rain on my skin. I'd known he'd react this way, but it didn't dull the pain. Ethan's face flashed next thigh's panicked eyes, his quick "I'm sorry" before he vanished. I wanted to hate him, but I couldn't. I'd pushed for that kiss, thinking I could finally be free. The rain pounded the roof, relentless, like it wanted to swallow me. I sat up, hands raking my wet hair, catching my reflection in a cracked mirror. Bloodshot eyes, a bruised jaw where Dad's swing had grazed me. I looked like a ghost of myself. Someone had lost everything in one reckless moment. My fingers dug into the mattress, rough fabric grounding me. I needed to breathe, to move, to find something to hold on to. A low rumble cut through the storm, not thunder, but an engine pulling into the lot. Headlights slashed through the blinds, lighting the room. My pulse spiked. Was it Dad? Had he tracked me? Or Ethan, chasing redemption? I crept to the window, heart racing, and peeked out. A battered truck, not Dad's, idled under the neon glow. A man stepped out, all broad, his face shadowed under a cap. He moved slow, deliberate, like the night owned him. I let the curtain drop, my chest tight. Just another guest, I told myself, but my hands wouldn't steady. I sank back, the key biting my palm. Tomorrow I'd find somewhere elsing, other town, another state, anywhere but here. All I knew was I couldn't go back. The rain kept falling, and the truck's engine cut off, leaving silence and a choice I didn't know I'd made. The motel room was a trap, walls pressing in with every creak of the old pipes. Sleep hadn't come, my eyes burning from staring at the ceiling, Dad's voice looping in my head, Ethan's footsteps fading into the dark. My phone was dead, the charger lost in my escape. Gray dawn seeped through the blinds, matching the ache in my chest. I needed to move, but my legs felt like lead. My bag still slumped by the door, knowing I had nowhere to go. I splashed cold water on my face, the sink's rusty dribble stinging my skin. The mirror showed a worse version of Mebru's darker eyes sunken. I pulled my hoodie up, hiding the marks, and stepped outside. The rain had eased to a mist, the air sharp with wet pine and asphalt. The lot was empty except for that truck from last night, its dented hood glinting under the clouds. I was halfway to my car when a voice stopped me. "You lost, kid." It was low, rough, like gravel under boots. I turned, heart-jumping. The man from the truck stood by the office, leaning against the wall, a cigarette glowing between his fingers. He was older Mabe Fortestal, with a weathered jacket and eyes that saw too much. His name, I'd learn later, was Marcus. "Not lost," I muttered, my voice hoarse, "just leaving," my hands shoved into my pockets, hiding their tremble. He took a drag, the smoke curling in the damp air, his gaze pinning me like a moth. "You look like you're running from something," he said, not a question. My stomach twisted. Was it that obvious? "Fine," I said, turning toward my car, but his voice followed. "Nobody's fine at a place like this." I stopped, my boots scuffing the gravel. He was right, Thigh's motel was a last resort, a pit stop for people with nowhere else to go. I glanced back, his eyes catching mine, steady but not cruel. "Got a name?" he asked, flicking ash. "Caleb," I said, hesitant, like giving it up was a risk. He nodded, like it meant something. "Marcus, you hungry?" I wasn't, but my stomach growled, betraying me. He jerked his head toward the diner across the lot, its neon sign buzzing faintly. "Come on, my treat." I should have said no, driven off, kept running. But something in his voice grounded pulled me in. The diner was greasy, the air thick with bacon and burnt coffee. We slid into a booth, the vinyl sticking to my jeans. Marcus ordered eggs, I got coffee, my hands wrapping around the mug, its warmth steadying me. "So," he said, leaning back, "what's chasing you?" I froze, my fingers tightening on the mug. "Nothing," I lied, my voice flat. His eyebrow lifted, skeptical but not pushing. "Kid, I've seen that look. You're not here for the scenery." His tone was dry, but his eyes softened, just a flicker, like head been where I was. I looked down, the coffee's steam curling between us. My bruise throbbed, a reminder of Dad's fist, Ethan's absence. "I had a fight," I said finally, my voice low, with my dad. "It got bad." Marcus didn't flinch, just nodded, like he'd heard it before. "Fathers can be like that," he said, his voice quieter now. "Mine threw me out when I was your age, never looked back." My eyes flicked up, searching his face. Was he like me? Did he know? The waitress dropped off his plate, breaking the moment. I sipped my coffee, bitter, burning my tongue. "Why, help me?" I asked, my voice sharper than I meant. Marcus shrugged, cutting into his eggs. "You look like you need it." His fingers brushed the table, rough, calloused, and for a second, I wondered what they'd feel like steadying me. The thought hit hard, unbidden, and I looked away, my face hot. Outside, the mist thickened, cloaking the lot. Marcus paid, leaving a crumpled tip, and stood. "You got a place to crash tonight?" he asked, pulling his cap low. I shook my head, my throat tight. "Thought so," he said. "My cabin's a few miles out. One night, no strings." His eyes held mine, steady, offering something I wasn't sure I could take. I followed him to his truck, my bag slung over my shoulder, the rain starting again. The cabin was a risk, but so was staying here, waiting for Dad to find me. As we drove, the silence between us was heavy, charged, like the air before a lightning strike. I didn't know if I was running towards something or just deeper into the dark. The cabin smelled of pine and old wood, the kind of place that held secrets in its cracks. Rain battered the roof, a steady drum that matched my pulse. Marcus had lit a fire, the the glow flickering across the small living room, casting shadows on his face. I sat on a worn couch, my damp hoodie clinging to my shoulders, my bag at my feet like an anchor. He handed me a towel, his fingers brushing Minroff, warm, sending a jolt through me. "Dry off," he said, his voice low, not unkind. I nodded, my throat too tight to speak. The space was tight couch, coffee table, a kitchenette barely big enough for two. Outside the storm raged, sealing us in. I rubbed the towel over my hair, my eyes darting to Marcus as he leaned against the counter, a beer in hand. His jacket was off, his flannel sleeves rolled up, showing forearms corded with muscle. He looked like he belonged here, solid, unshaken, unlike me-shivering, lost, my bruise throbbing under my collar. "You gonna tell me what happened?" he asked, his eyes meeting mine, steady but searching. I looked away, the fire's crackle filling the silence. "Not much to tell," I muttered, my voice rough. "Dad didn't like who I am." The words slipped out, heavy, raw. Marcus didn't flinch, just took a slow sip, his gaze never leaving me. "Who are you, then?" he asked, his tone soft, like he already knew. My chest tightened, Ethan's face flashing in my mind-eyes lips, his fear, his absence. "Someone he can't handle," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Marcus nodded like it was enough and stepped closer, setting his beer down. He sat on the coffee table, close enough that I could smell the rain on him, mixed with something warmer like cedar. "Families can be brutal," he said, his voice low, mine was. "Took me years to stop running." I looked up, his eyes catching mine, holding me there. My breath hitched, the air between us thick, electric. "You don't seem like someone who runs," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. His lips twitched, not quite a smile, not anymore. His hand rested on his knee, inches from mine, and for a second I imagined it closing the gap, steadying me like the towel had. He stood, breaking the moment, and grabbed a blanket from a chair. "You're soaked," he said, tossing it to me. I caught it, my fingers brushing the rough wool, and peeled off my hoodie, my T-shirt clinging to my skin. His eyes flicked to my chest, lingering on the bruise, his jaw tightening. "Who did that?" he asked, voice sharp now. I hesitated, then shrugged. Dad missed the punch mostly. His eyes darkened, but he didn't push, just handed me a dry shirties, too big, smelling of him. I changed in the bathroom, the mirror showing a stranger pale, shaken but alive. When I came back, Marcus was by the fire, poking the logs, sparks snapping. I sat closer this time, the blanket around my shoulders, his shirt warm against my skin. "Why'd you let me stay?" I asked, my voice soft, testing. He didn't look up, but his hand stilled. "Saw myself in you," he said, simple, raw, lost, scared, needing a chance. The words hit like a punch, my eyes stinging. I leaned forward, my hand brushing his arm, unintentional but deliberate. His skin was warm, steady, and for a moment neither of us moved. His breath caught just slightly, his eyes locking on mine, closer now, the firelight dancing in them. My pulse raced, my lips parting, his face so near I felt the heat of his breath. The air was heavy, charged, like we were teetering on a line neither could cross. A crack of thunder shook the cabin, shattering the moment. Marcus pulled back, standing fast, his hand raking through his hair. "Get some sleep," he said, voice rough, turning away. "Couch is yours." I nodded, my heart pounding, the blanket tight around me. As he disappeared into the bedroom, I lay back, staring at the ceiling, his scent clinging to the shirt, the fire's glow fading. We'd come close, too close, and I wasn't sure if I was relieved or aching for more. Morning came too fast, the storm gone, but leaving a chill in the cabin's air. I woke on the couch, Marcus' shirt still on me, his scent lingering like a memory I couldn't shake. My bruise ached, a dull reminder of Dad, of Ethan, of everything I'd run from. Marcus was in the kitchen, coffee brewing, his back to me. The silence was heavy, like we both knew last night had shifted something we couldn't name. I sat up, folding the blanket, my hands unsteady. "Thanks for the shirt," I said, my voice rough from sleep. He glanced over, his eyes catching mine, then flicked away. "Keep it," he said, pouring coffee into 2 mugs. He handed me one, his fingers brushing mine, and that same jolt hit me sharp, electric. I looked down, my face hot, trying to ignore the pull in my chest. We drank in silence, the air thick with unspoken words. I wanted to ask about last night, about that moment by the fire, but my throat locked up. Then a sharp knock shattered the quiet, like a gunshot in the stillness. Marcus froze, his mug halfway to his lips. My heart jumped, my mind flashing to Dad. Had he found me? I set my mug down, hands trembling, as Marcus moved to the door. He opened it, revealing a manolder, grizzled, in a dark coat, eyes narrowing as they landed on me. "You, Caleb?" he asked, voice cold, like he already knew the answer. My stomach dropped. Marcus turned, his gaze sharp. "Who's this?" he asked me, his tone edged with suspicion. I swallowed, my mouth dry. "I don't know him," I said, but my voice shook, betraying me. The man smirked, stepping inside uninvited. "Name's Jack, friend of your dad's. He sent me to bring you home." My blood ran cold. Dad had sent someone to drag me back, to face his anger again. "Am not going," I said, standing. My fists clenched. Marcus stepped between us, his shoulders tense. "He said he's not going," he echoed, voice low, dangerous. Jack's eyes flicked to Marcus, then back to me, a sneer curling his lip. "You think you can just run. Your dad knows what you are, kid. Told me everything." The words hit like a slap, my face burning. Marcus' jaw tightened, his hand flexing like he wanted to swing. "Get out," he said, stepping closer to Jack. Now, Jack laughed, sharp and mean. "You his protector now. Didn't know you were into strays, Marcus." My chest tightened. "Ho, did he know, Marcus?" Marcus didn't flinch, but his eyes darkened, a flash of something personal, raw. "Leave," he said again, his voice a growl. Jack raised his hands, mock surrender, but his eyes stayed on me, promising trouble. "You'll regret this," he said, backing out, the door slamming behind him. The silence was deafening. Marcus turned to me, his face hard. "You lied," he said, voice low, cutting. "You said it was just a fight." My heart sank, guilt clawing at me. "I didn't lie," I said, stepping closer, desperate. "I just didn't tell you everything." His eyes searched mine, hurt flickering beneath the anger. "What else are you hiding, Caleb?" I opened my mouth, but no words came. The moment by the fire, his touch, his warmth, it all felt like a lie now. "I didn't mean to drag you into this," I said, my voice breaking. Marcus shook his head, stepping back, his hand raking through his hair. "You should've told me," he said, quieter now, but it stung worse. "I can't help you if I don't know the truth. Am sorry," I whispered, reaching for his arm, but he pulled away, the distance like a chasm. "Go," he said, not looking at me. "Get your stuff and go." The words hit like a punch, my breath catching. I wanted to fight, to explain, but his eyes were cold, closed off. I grabbed my bag, my hands shaking, and stepped into the rain, Jack's laughter still echoing in my head. As the door shut behind me, I felt Marcus' gaze on my back, heavy, like he was already regretting it. The rain was back, colder now, soaking through my hoodie as I stumbled down the dirt road from Marcus' cabin. My bag weighed me down, my boots slipping in the mud. Jack's words burned. "Dad knows what you airy," and Marcus' rejection cut deeper. I'd thought I'd found something in that cabin, a spark, a chance, but now I was alone again, the highway stretching into nothing. My bruise throbbed, my chest ached, and all I could hear was Marcus' voice. "Go." I walked for hours, the cold numbing my fingers, my mind a mess of guilt and fear. By dusk, my legs gave out near a gas station, its neon sign buzzing like a warning. I slumped against the wall, my breath fogging in the chill. I was dunno, here to go, no one to call. Ethan's face flashed in my mind, his apology useless now. I should stayed away from him, I thought, my hands digging into my hair, should stayed invisible. Headlights cut through the dusk, a familiar truck pulling into the lot. My heart jumped. Marcus. He stepped out, his cap low, his face unreadable. "Get in," he said, voice gruff, no room for argument. I stood shaky, my bag slipping from my shoulder. "Why," I asked, my voice raw, "you told me to go." His eyes met mine, hard but flickering with something softer. "I was wrong," he said, simple, like it cost him to admit it. I climbed into the truck, the warmth hitting me like a wave. Marcus didn't speak, just drove, the silence heavy but not empty. His hands gripped the wheel, knuckles white, and I noticed a fresh cut on his thumb, blood-crusted. "What happened?" I asked, nodding at his hand. He glanced down, then away. "Jack came back," he said, voice low. Got mouthy, I handled it. My stomach twisted, handled it how. Back at the cabin, the fire was out, the air colder. Marcus tossed me a towel, his eyes avoiding mine. "You're soaked," he said, softer now. I peeled off my hoodie, my shirt clinging to my skin, and he stepped closer, his breath catching as he saw the bruise again. "Damn it, Caleb," he muttered, grabbing a cloth and a bottle of antiseptic. His fingers brushed my jaw, steady, careful, as he cleaned the bruise. The sting was sharp, but his touch was warmer, grounding me. "Why'd you come after me?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. His hand stilled, his eyes locking on mine, close enough I felt his breath. "Couldn't let you go like that," he said, his voice rough, raw. My pulse raced, his fingers lingering, tracing the edge of my jaw. The air thickened, our faces inches apart, his sensitar, rain pulling me in. I leaned closer, my lips parting, his breath warm against my cheek. A sharp knock broke the spell, a flashlight beam slicing through the window. "Open the door," a voice barked. Jack, back again with someone else. Marcus' hand dropped, his body tensing. "Stay here," he said, moving to the door. I grabbed his arm, panic rising. "Don't," I whispered, my voice shaking. "Hell, make it worse." Marcus' eyes met mine, fierce, protective. "He won't touch you," he said, pulling free. The door opened, and Jack stood there with a cop, his badge glinting. "This him?" the cop asked, nodding at me. Jack smirked. "Yeah, his dad wants him home." My heart stopped, fear clawing at me. Marcus stepped forward, his voice steady. "He's not going anywhere." The cop's eyes narrowed, but Jack's laugh cut through. "You're in deep now, Marcus," he said, turning away. The cop followed, but the threat lingered, heavy as the rain outside. Marcus shut the door, his shoulders tense. I stood, my voice breaking. "I shouldn't have come back," I said, guilt crashing over me. His eyes met mine, softer now, but sharp with resolve. "You're here now," he said. "That's what matters." The cabin's walls seemed to close in, the air thick with the weight of Jack's threat and the unspoken pull between us. Rain hammered the roof, a relentless pulse matching the thud in my chest. I stood by the window, gripping the sill, my knuckles white, the cold glass grounding me. Marcus leaned against the kitchen counter, his thumb wrapped in a rag, the cut from his clash with Jack still fresh. His eyes were on me, heavy, searching, like he could see the storm raging inside me. "You okay, Caleb?" he asked, his voice low, rough, like he already knew I wasted. "No," I said, turning to face him, my voice raw, scraped from somewhere deep. "You shouldn't have done that. Jack, that cop, they'll come back. You're in this now because of me." My hands shook, guilt clawing at me. Marcus' jaw tightened, but his gaze didn't waver. "Let them come," he said, stepping closer, his boots scuffing the worn floorboards. "I told you, not touching you." His words were a lifeline, but they sank into me like a weight, heavy with what they meant, what he was risking. I shook my head, my throat tight. "Why are you doing this? You don't even know me." My voice cracked, the question spilling out before I could stop it. Marcus' eyes darkened, a flicker of something raw pain, maybe crossing his face. "I know enough," he said, his voice quieter now, like it cost him to say it. "I know what it's like to run, to be afraid of who you are, to have no one." The words hit like a punch, stealing my breath. Was he like me? Had he stood where I was, staring down a truth that could break everything? I stepped closer, the space between us shrinking, the air charged, electric. "Tell me it doesn't mean anything," I said, my voice trembling, echoing the firelit moment from 2 nights ago, when his touch had burned through me. His fists clenched at his sides, his eyes locking on mine, burning with something I couldn't name, anger, hunger, fear, all tangled together. "I can't," he said, the words a confession, a spark igniting the air. The silence that followed was a scream, the rain outside pounding like my pulse, urging me forward. I moved first, my hand brushing his arm, his skin warm, steady under my fingers. He didn't pull away, his breath hitching as I traced the edge of his sleeve, my touch tentative but deliberate. His hand caught mine, rough, calloused, his thumb grazing my wrist, sending a jolt through me. Our faces were close now, too close, his breath warm against my lips, his eyes searching mine like he was drowning in them. My heart raced, my lips parting, the pull between us a force I couldn't fight. His sensitar rain, something ruffled my lungs, drawing me in closer, until I could feel the heat of his skin. For a moment the world was just us, rain, the creak of the floor, the fire's dying glow. His hand tightened on mine, his thumb pressing harder, like he was anchoring himself. My chest brushed his arm, the contact electric, my pulse a drumbeat in my ears. I leaned in, my lips inches from his, the air thick with want, with everything we hadn't said. His eyes flickered to my mouth, his breath uneven, and I thought, is it, this is the line well cross. But then he tore away, his hands slamming the counter, the mugs rattling like gunfire. Damn it, Caleb, he growled, stepping back, his voice thick with frustration, with something like pain. This can't happen. The words hit like a blade, slicing through the heat, leaving me cold. My chest tightened, rejection stinging sharper than Dad's fist. Why not? I asked, my voice sharp, desperate, my hands still trembling from his touch. He shook his head, his eyes pained, haunted. Because you're running, and am not your answer. I can't be. The words shattered something in me, my breath catching like I'd been punched. I grabbed my bag, my hands shaking, the rain outside calling me back to the dark. Fine, I said, my voice breaking, raw with hurt. I'll go. You won't see me again. I moved to the door, my heart pounding, my boots heavy on the floor. But his voice stopped me, low, urgent. Caleb, wait. I turned, his eyes begging, pleading for something he couldn't say. His hand reached out, hovering, like he wanted to pull me back but couldn't let himself. I stood there, frozen, the door half open, rain spitting through the gap. His face was a war-anger, regret, something deeper I couldn't name. You don't get it, he said, his voice softer now, breaking. I'm trying to protect you from this, from me. My throat burned, his words cutting deeper than I expected. I don't need protecting, I said, stepping closer, my voice fierce. I need you to stop pushing me away. His eyes widened, just for a second, like ID struck something head buried. But he shook his head, stepping back, his hands raking through his hair. Go, he said, quieter now, final. Just go. The words were a knife, twisting in my chest. I wanted to fight, to scream, to make him see, but his eyes were cold, closed off, a wall I couldn't climb. I slung my bag over my shoulder, my fingers digging into the strap, and stepped into the rain. The door clicked shut behind me, the sound swallowed by the storm, his silence louder than anything. As I walked away, my boots sinking into the mud, I felt his gaze on my back, heavy, like he was already regretting it. But he didn't call me back. Dad's gonna love this, Jack said, his eyes locked on me, unless you come with me. Now my knees buckled, the lighter slipping from my fingers, clattering to the ground. Marcus' hand shot out, grabbing my arm, steadying me. He's not going anywhere, he growled, his voice blade, his grip firm, grounding. Jack's smirk widened, his eyes flicking between us. You sure about that? This goes public, you're both done, small town like this. They'll eat you alive. My chest tightened, the threat real, suffocating. I saw it. Dad's rage, the town's whispers, Marcus' life unraveling because of me. Give me the phone, Marcus said, stepping toward Jack, his voice dangerous. Jack backed up, laughing, but his eyes were sharp, calculating. Not a chance, he said, slipping the phone into his pocket. You've got till tonight to decide. Caleb, come home or this hits your dad's inbox. He turned, sauntering back to his car, the engine roaring as he peeled away, leaving us in the mist. I stood frozen, Marcus' hand still on my arm. He touched the only thing keeping me upright. Caleb, he said, his voice softer now, urgent. Look at me. I did, my eyes stinging, his face close, his breath warm. You don't have to go back, he said. His hand sliding to my shoulder, his thumb brushing my collarbone, sending a shiver through me. Well, figure this out. Together, my heart ached, his words a promise, a risk, a lifeline I wasn't sure I deserved. The bus driver honked, impatient, the doors still open. I glanced at the bus, then at Marcus, his eyes pleading fierce like he'd fight the world for me. My fingers brushed the lighter on the ground, its metal cold, heavy with meaning. I could get on the bus, run again, leave this mess behind, or I could stay, face Jack's threat, face the truth with Marcus. My pulse raced, the choice tearing me apart. I stepped back, Marcus' hand falling away, his eyes darkening with fear, with loss. Caleb, he whispered, but I shook my head, my throat burning. I can't do this to you, I said, my voice breaking. I grabbed the lighter, shoving it into my pocket, and turned toward the bus. My boots hit the steps, the doors hissing shut behind me. Through the rain, streaked window I saw Marcus, still standing, his silhouette blurred, his hand raised like he wanted to stop me but couldn't. The bus lurched forward, the lighter heavy in my pocket, Marcus sent still on me. My heart pounded, a whisper in my head, if only I'd stayed. But as we rounded a bend, I caught a glimpse of another car in the distance. Jack's sedan tailing us, its headlights a predator's eyes. My breath caught, fear spiking. He wasn't done, and neither was I. The road stretched ahead, uncertain, and I knew this ways. The end note for me, not for Marcus, not for the truth we'd left hanging in the mist.